Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jens, and for today's video I'm going to show you how to create a QR code generator for your Flutter applications. So this is what our final product will look like. As you can see, here at the top is where the QR code will be generated. And over here is where you can put in your input string for the QR code, and here you can also just choose a color for what the color will be. Over here you can create the QR code and save the QR code as well. Alright, so let's get into it. So why would we want to use QR codes within our application? Well, so far we've seen that QR codes could be used for so many things. Basically anything you could put a string onto, you could make a QR code out of that. And people use it for things like links to, let's say, the Play Store where you can download an app, or links to their favorite image, or anything, literally anything could be made into a QR code. Also, another reason why we could use it, and this is what I want to go into in the next few videos, is you could link a QR code to an ID specific to your database, which you could use to access certain information. And for today, I would just want to show you how to generate a QR code, and in the future videos I want to show you how to use it in your database. So over here I've just created a new Flutter project. I just want to delete all of the code here at the top, and let's just return a scaffold. There we go. Now I just want to create a basic interface here before I actually start to show you how the functions actually work. So let me just get into that. So over here, as you can see, all I've done here is I've placed a stack widget here in the body, and I've basically just put an image, an asset image, as the first part of the stack, and also the second part of the stack is where the QR code will be generated. Now it's just important to note here that I've just basically made this frame image under the assets folder. It's basically just a PNG, so there's nothing behind the actual those white lines at the sides. So a stack widget, for those of you who don't know, is basically you can put children in here, and these children would be placed on top of each other. So the first widget will be placed first, and the next widget will be placed on top of that, and so on. That's why I placed the frame first, and next would be the image URL for the QR code. So next up, I'm just gonna put in all of the text fields and where you can choose the color, which will also be interesting, that we will get into soon. Let's get to it. Okay, so I've just finished basically the first part where you could choose a color. Now I'm just quickly also going to explain how the animated container works in this case. So basically there's a color picture over here. You can't see, it's very dark, but this will change as you change the color. Now the animated container, which when you click here, it can scroll, it changes the height as well as this icon. Now how it works is basically you have to create an animation controller, and you have to set the duration of how long it will take. Here it's set to 450 milliseconds. And basically always remember, if you use any controller, you have to, in your class, when it's a stateful widget, change, just write an extension with single ticker provider state mix in, or you could just say ticker provided state mix in if you use one controller or if you use many controllers. This could be any controller, from the bottom navigation bar to this animation controller that you see right now. So this is the first step. The next thing, you'll have to create a handle function, which basically change this Boolean value to the opposite of what it is. So initially it's set to false, and once you click on the icon, it changes the state from true to false, or false to true. And also, if it's true, the animation of the icon is set to forward, meaning that the icon's animation has a forward and a reverse function. There's a few icons that can do this. And after that, so where is it? Here we go. So if the color animation is set to false, the height is 70. And if it's set to true, the height is 280. And here you always have to set a duration with all your animated containers. Here I set it to 300 milliseconds. I can actually set it to 450 as well to just make set it in sync, so it's going to be a little slower. There we go. Yeah, now it's a little bit more in sync. Alright, so next up I'm just going to put in the controller, the color picker within this animated container. So I've created the basic layout for everything now. As you can see here, you can change the color value over here. If you click here and down the bottom, you get this nice color picker that you have to import. Now, yeah, so let's see, if I say blue, you can click there and it changes to blue. Now another thing that I've did here, firstly, once I click on a color, the first time that I did it, the colors changed instantly, and there was no like smooth transition, which was like really, it was too static to see any nice difference. So what I've done here is I've created another animated container, and even though I didn't set anything that changed, if this value of the color actually changes, whatever the next value is, there will be like a smooth transition, as you can see here, and the millisecond set to 300. We can actually, I'll make it 1000 so that you can see the difference. So if I go from blue here to a red, you can see that it slowly transitions to the next color. If you see here, if I go to black, slowly transitions to the next color, rather than having you see, if I set this duration to 0, you'll see there's no, it's a very rigid, it doesn't look very natural, right? So let's set this to 400 again. As you can see, it changes very naturally. So now what we're going to do is basically with this color and with the text that we insert here, if we can put anything, hello world, if we put in anything down here, it should generate a QR code with that color, and which translates the text into the QR code. So how we're going to do that is we're going to look on a website that's called RapidAPI.com, and I've searched around here and I found a nice free QR code generator. What you want to do here is click QR code. I think Pierre is the guy's name. Pierre is the guy's name. P-I. Here we go. Let me just make sure it is correct. There we go. This one at the top that says QR code. It's totally free. All you have to do to get this to work is you have to sign up to RapidAPI.com, and once you've signed up, you can basically they give you your own key value that you put in the code, which I will show you shortly, and you can change a few of these properties of the QR code. As you can see here, you can set the back color, the pixels, so meaning how big it's gonna be, over here the fore color, the color of the actual QR code, and also here obviously you need a text that you have to set. And as you can see here, all you require is the headers, the address of the API, and your API key, and that's all you really need. So if we go back to so you have to sign up and get your API key. That's basically the most important. If we go back to our code over here, all we have to do is we have to make a function over here, and let's call this create QR code, and this will have to be asynchronously async, and we need to insert the text and also the color. So how we're gonna do this is you have to create a variable called, let's call it response. So for this to work, we need to get a package, and this is the HTTP package that it's going to use to get the information from the API. So what we want to do here is we want to get the address for the API, and we'll set a variable URI to to this URI dot parse, and let's just set that address there. Next up, we want to create a response that we're gonna get from the API, and this will and for this one, let's just see here, we need to import this HTTP file, and let's import it as HTTP. So now here we can just say HTTP dot get URI dot replace, and we want a query parameter of two strings. Ooh, I have to write get there. Okay. So now here is where we put in all of our requirements for the API to work. So all we need here, I wonder if I can just copy these things over here. Copy. So the back color, we're gonna set it to, I would just want to set it to the same as this back color over here. So this is 00237C, and I'll explain this numbers in a while. The pixels, let's set that one to 9. ECL is the same, and the full color, this is what we're gonna set it to, color. Ooh, we're gonna set it to color. There we go. And the text will obviously then also be text. So now we also need to set the headers, right? So the headers will have 3 parameters, as we can see here. You can just copy those, paste it down there. This one we can keep the same. Here you can put in your key. My key that I've found is over here. Oh. And you want to set this value to true. Okay, so now that that's finished, all we have to do once we create it, we just set the value of the image. Set state image URL equals to the response response, I made a spelling mistake over there, response dot body. Okay, so now that that's done, all we have to do down here, now this is a little bit of a tricky part, is so once we click on the create and the word is equals, not equals to null, then we have to call this function. Now how we call it, especially when it comes to the color, which was a tricky part, is you have to set create code, and then now you have to set the text. So the text will obviously be word, and the color is going to be 3 values. So the way the hexadecimal colors work is you have a code for green, red, and yellow, and these values are integers from 0 to 255, and basically when you set it to hexadecimal, there's only 2 for each color. So that's why there's six digits in the hexadecimal color. The first part would be the red color, so picker color dot red dot to radix string. So now you set what type of string it is, and hexadecimal is 16 digits. The next part, so I can actually just copy this and just paste it 2 more times. So the second one will be green, and the last one over here blue. So there we go. So that's how we set the color from an integer to a hexadecimal. And if all goes well, let's just see if it works. So this is set to red. Oh, I made a big mistake here. In the create QR codes, the website that I put in here was the same as the one that I put down here. This one is the one for the API, and this would just be the normal website found here. There. So this is that GET request that we need. So let's just change that one. Pretty sure that's supposed to be right. There we go. Okay, so there it seems to work. So as you can see here at the bottom, here is our QR code that's generated. So if I click on this, you can see that it just loads up this image, and this is being generated and then displayed. So you can set up the color over here. There we go, and change the, let's change it to, yeah, or www.google.com. So I'm guessing if you click on this QR code, you will be taken to google.com. Now this is one of the simpler examples how to create the QR codes. Next up, I want to actually show how we can use this QR codes to link it to certain IDs, to use it as keys, especially when it comes to your database. I will be using Firestore for this example. But this is it for now, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you want to see more videos like these. See you in the next video. Bye bye.